citizen petition. John?
Or Jen.
David, you want to close this out?
There's nothing much to close out except to read.
Well, I signed the
That's it.
petition.
I didn't even see the petition. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed the petition.
Want to address it?
So, there has been much discussion outside of town meeting about the fact that certain members of the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee speak on their personal, not presenting their respective board's position, but their personal position on an item, and they stand at the front microphone to do that. And so this, if this passes, this would require that, other than when presenting their official board positions, that they would go to and stand in line in one of the microphones in the hall. So,
Like all other
Like
places.
everybody
Yes.
else. Yeah,
Can I ask a question? It says should.
yeah.
So is that, I mean, that seems really wishy-washy. Won't that just mean it's at the moderator's discretion, or whose discretion will that be?
Well, I think it would indicate that if it passes, it would indicate that the town body expects that that's what would happen. It doesn't mean that if they spoke from the front microphone that they would somehow be in violation of the bylaw, but it would certainly be in derogation of what the body has asked, expects of them.
I guess I don't know how you would determine whether someone was voicing their opinion as a minority or majority supporter of a vote that came before one of these committees, or if they were speaking as individuals. They're still speaking to the context of that issue. And so, and to what extent are they speaking as private citizens, and to what extent are they speaking as Board of Selectmen or Finance Committee members? I don't know how you'd make that distinction, really.
Well, so there's two things going on, and it's kind of interesting. At the beginning, when a warrant is presented, the sponsor is able to present, and then after that, the Board of Selectmen are asked if they have a position, and they are able to present an official majority and minority position. And then the Finance Committee is offered the opportunity to give an official majority-minority opinion. After that, so no one's supposed to be called on twice to speak on the same item. But in the past, what's happened is that members from the front, and primarily from the Finance Committee, have spoken repeatedly. And even though they may still be reiterating the points that they made in their official report, the idea, I think, and why I supported this and signed it, was that they would then go and stand in line with everyone else at the microphone and speak, and not do it from their official, as if they're getting multiple rejoinders to present their official report.
Is there a process that's already set out for that? Do people know that there's really, two official reports, there's a majority and a minority, or?
They'll announce them now.
I mean, I think that's the way it's been done.
Tom?
So do you know, did the proponent speak to the town moderator, to the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, any selectmen, or any member of the Finance Committee before they decided to write a law?
I don't believe that they did. Although I do know that they were expressing rather openly their frustration with the last two town meetings and the process that was used. But I don't know that they ever met with them specifically.
So my question then is how do you define private citizen? Like when I go to the grocery store, when am I a private citizen and when am I a selectman?
Sure. And I would just say, out of respect to you and the selectmen, it really isn't directed at the selectmen specifically, because I think the perception is that you all typically make your report and then you sit down and don't continue to get up and up and up. And it's really the Finance Committee, I think, that you see members standing repeatedly to address the same issue. But I understand the question. I think it's that after the first formal report is made, if you then wanted to join the discussion again, the idea is you would go to the microphone and stand with everyone else and speak, because you're no longer making the official report of your committee.
So I think that the challenge for the Board of Selectmen, less so for the Finance Committee, is that we are often the proponent of most of the warrant. So we're actually answering questions for which we're not actually giving an opinion or advice at town meeting. We're actually the proponent,
Right.
the people proposing it. So it's not just our advice to town meeting, but it's actually our article, something, for example, something the Board of Selectmen proposes to town meeting. So that sort of counterpoint is, I think, what you're trying to get to is not, I suspect, is so that we don't enter debate. But there is a lot of sort of more information that comes, and this makes that, to me, hard to distinguish what is my opinion versus what is the proponent's intention, right?
Mhm.
And it requires the moderator to anticipate which of those I'm about to do.
Yeah, I agree. It's not easy. I mean, I suspect that this may not pass, but I suspect that people's behavior may change as a result of it.
So what I hope is that in the future, when there's a contention about how town meeting is run, that the people who have a contention will actually approach the people they have a contention with. And I think that's the way town has to ultimately operate. If you have a problem with me, come talk to me.
Right. And I think that's really what the issue is. You know, we spend hours and hours in meetings discussing these things and getting information from town staff, et cetera. And a lot of times, in a minority or majority report, we don't have an opportunity to provide all of the information that might be a backdrop to it. So are we, in fact, when we provide additional information, are we just private citizens, or are we, in fact, presenting information we think is pertinent to the issue? I think it's
Okay,
tough.
we have hands up, so let's go around this way, yes.
I think what's really, I want to say a couple of things. One is that this issue has been talked about for at least 5 or 6 years. And nothing has changed. In fact, I would say the Finance Committee gets up more than it did 5 years ago. The second thing is that the reports in the beginning need to be as comprehensive as possible. There shouldn't be the need for somebody from the Finance Committee to get up 5, 6, 7 times in a discussion of the warrant to add more information. The presentation, you've got the floor, nobody else can interrupt you, should be as comprehensive as possible.
Yes.
And then, to Tom's point, is if there's a direct question, I'm not clear on this, you're responding to a question, you're not grandstanding, and I think that's the issue that people, and that's why this came up.
Okay.
I think it would be very helpful to have that, because I have felt as a person sitting in the pews, so to speak, that we're kind of being preached at sometimes on some of the issues, and it gets a little like someone just pounding at you.
Well, my friend John Golden said that he was able to get the signatures for this warrant in less than 1 hour. So there definitely is something here, and whether people should have talked to each other to resolve it or not, I take your point. I think that's fair. But I think there's something here beneath this that is not going to immediately go away.
And this is a great segue into having no opinions, or getting a little,
Sorry.
here we go, right?
Sorry.
But, 365 coming up with the concept of having space to get clear